Okay, kids. So the last step of this particular project is to start creating our actual sculpture. Now, you were told to wait for these to dry completely. So mine are dry. Right now they're flat. They're two-dimensional. Okay, and from what we've learned so far, sculptures are three-dimensional. So how do we go from that to this, which looks 2D, but when you turn it, you can see that it is very much three-dimensional. Okay, pretty cool. So, the things you are going to need today, your gray paper, your two pieces, which should already be at your table. You're going to go up front and get yourself a glue stick, a pair of scissors, and one of these papers with two rectangles on it. Then, go back to your seat, flip this over, write your name and the letter day that you see Mr. H on the back. In this case, I see day A today, so that's why I wrote that. Okay? Now, once you've done that, you're going to pick one of these two pieces to start with. Okay? And I chose my one with the white crayon. You're going to turn it over, and you are going to very, very carefully cut out all these strips. Cut right on the lines as best as you can. Please do not trim anything off. There is no trash for this project. Okay? You'll notice that they have numbers on them. That'll help you to keep them in order later. Okay? So I only want you to cut these one at a time. So don't start cutting this one right now. Okay? Put this aside for later. So you're probably going to want to pause the video right now and take care of cutting out all your 12 strips. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut my 12 strips of paper. I've got them in order from 1 to 12 like this. And now I've got this piece of paper over here and my glue stick. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to use different amounts of glue for each strip. So please just watch carefully as I explain this and do this. Right now, if you look at this, you see they're too long. Okay, I did that for a reason, and you'll see why in a moment. So start with number 12, and that's going to go over here. And put a little bit of glue at the top of number 12. Make sure you're working on your gray paper. And then a good line of glue like this on the bottom. Again, I put a little glue up top and I did a line of glue towards the bottom. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to keep the number at the bottom, turn it over, and I'm going to stick it on just overlapping those lines that I printed out for you guys. Okay, then you can see I pressed down the bottom where I had a lot of glue. Then I'm going to bend this and stick the top on the top of the rectangle like that. Okay, and I'm going to hold this in the correct place. It must be right on that line. Okay, and you can see that I've got like this weird lump right here. Well, now it's three-dimensional. Okay, so once that glue is set, I can move to number 11. And I want to do number 11 a little bit differently than I did number 12. Maybe I want more glue at the top of number 11 and a little bit at the bottom. Okay, let's see how that looks. So I flip it over, keeping the number at the bottom, and I want to take this piece and bonk it right against the one I just glued down, like that. And keeping it nice and straight, I am going to get this thing glued down just like the last one. And you can see I'm right over that black line and I'm right next to the piece I already finished. That's important. Okay, and you can see that my three-dimensional area is now different than the one I did before it. Okay, so now I'm going to try number 10. And for number 10, I'm going to try something even more different. This time, I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the top, a little bit of glue at the bottom, and some glue in the middle. So I'm going to get this thing started at the bottom, bonking right up against the one I did before it. Now this time I've got some glue in the middle, so this is going to be a little more difficult. I'm going to line up my top part there. And then I'm going to figure out where I put that glue in the middle, and I'm just going to bend it down to the paper. Now, if you struggle with this part, this is not required. You can do them all just like the first two I did if you want. If you want to try and make the loop-de-loop thing, that's up to you. And now you know how to do it, okay? So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see how I made that one. So I put glue there, there, and there on that one. Whereas that one, I only put glue here, and I just put more glue at the bottom to change it up a little bit. Alright, so you can do these either with one bump or two bumps. That's really up to you. I'm kind of liking the one bump a little bit better because it's easier to glue down, but that's me. And you're going to continue to work just touching the lines of the rectangle I printed for you, both at the top and the bottom, and having these right up against one another. And you'll continue to work your way over until you glue down number one there. If you do this right and you have everything nice and neat and even, that last one is going to be right along that line. Okay, if it's too far over, that means you left some spaces and gaps, and you don't want to do that. You want them right next to one another, not sitting on top and not spaced out, right next to each other. And you can see if I blow this up a little bit, you can see how they're just touching right there, there, and there. Okay, that's the goal. So you're going to finish this one, then you're going to do the same exact process with the second piece. Cut it into strips, glue it down with lumps and bumps the same way, and then you're done.